Welcome back to Torques and Tickles, everybody. Where if you're not torquing, you're not tickling your brain. Anyways, in this episode, we're going to be doing beef jerky. So here I've got some inside round. I've already got some cut up. But as you can see, the grain is running this way. So we're going to be cutting against that grain. And I like to have my pieces, give or take, about just over or just under a quarter of an inch. Anyways, we're going to get the slice in this. We'll be back in a bit. All right there, everybody. So we're back. We've got all of our product cut up, ready to go. This here is the seasoning that I'm using. It's a Jerky Cure and Seasoning Sweet and Spicy Kit, High Mountain. You can pick that up at your local Canadian Tire. Anyways, let's get the seasoning. And we're back on Torques and Tickles. Anyway, so you've got your cure that comes in the package, plus the seasoning that comes in the package. But hey, you gotta like things a little bit sweeter in life? Add some brown sugar. So I'll use 1.5 heaping tablespoons of the cure, about 3 heaping tablespoons of the seasoning, and 3 heaping tablespoons of the brown sugar. And that there, folks, is probably give or take 2.5 pounds, which is going to be the perfect combo. All right, everybody. So per pound, you're supposed to use a 1/4 cup of water. However, what I have found in the past is that if you add a little bit more water to it, it kind of gets a little soupy in there, which is really good when you go to the dehydrator. Now, I put all of my meat into a Ziploc bag. I try to put it in there individually pieced so that it's not all clumped together, because you want all the marinade to get through all the beef. See you in a bit. Here's just a little tip when you're doing your jerky, guys. I usually put a little bit of meat at the bottom, then I put all my marinade in. And then I'll start adding pieces in individually after, about 13 or 14 pieces, and I get my spoon and I start mixing it all up. So that flavor gets through all of the meat. All right, Torque and Tickle fans, here we go. So now we got all the meat in there. It smells absolutely amazing. Now again, mixing it as you're going, adding pieces into it, it's only going to help all the flavors get all the way through that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to seal this up. We're going to put it in the fridge. We're going to let it marinate for 24 hours. However, every 3 hours or so, just give it a nice little turn and twist and whatnot with inside the bag, just to get those flavors going around. And we will see you when we are ready to put on the dehydrator. All right, we'll be talking to you guys in a bit. All right, thanks for watching. If you like it, hit the thumb like and subscribe. What's going on, my Torque and Tickles fans? Anyways, here we are 24 hours later. As you can see, we've got it prepped here on our first tray. Oh, she's looking pretty good. Anyways, well, I've got 5 more trays I think I'm going to be able to accomplish here with all the jerky that I've got. And it's looking really good. And we will be giving you updates shortly. Alright there, Torque and Tickle fans. We've got 5 trays. I thought we were going to get 6, but you'll see here how you got some like really smaller pieces. Those were left at the bottom and I just had to stagger it on. So anyways, now that we've got our 5 trays, now we put the lid on. Now this is an open country food dehydrator jerky maker, and I always have it on setting 160. It's now 10:54 a.m. and in about 3 hours we're going to be done. All right, they're my Torque and Tickle fans. We've been on now for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Let's take a look and see what our jerky looks like. Oh, hey, look at that. She's drying out perfectly. Right now, on the really thin stuff, this is okay to take off. This is consumable now. You can eat it. However, I'm going to leave it on here for about another, give or take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then I'm going to start pulling stuff off. And then, as you can see, we've got the bigger pieces here. Those bigger pieces, or the smaller pieces, but they're thick, we're going to leave those on probably for the full 3 hours. Welcome back to Torques and Tickles. If you're not torquing it, you're not getting tickled in the brain. Anyways, here we go. We've got a little tiny bit left. That stuff is a lot of the smaller, bigger pieces. Needs about another 15 to 20 minutes. However, we've got a great protein snack during the week while you're at work. There's nothing better than having some homemade jerky, because you know what? I don't want to pay the prices at the store, so it takes a little bit of time, a little bit of effort. However, I do want to mention one thing though. When you are done your jerky, do not store it in metal in the fridge. You always store your jerky in a paper bag. Never in a plastic bag either. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I really hope you liked this video. Throw some comments down below. I'll answer them. Anyways, have a good day. Bye.